Hi, my beautiful queens. This is your one and only Queen Dish here at your service. So I was given the divine inspiration to do a podcast, and I wanted to make sure that I did a Facebook Live for it as well. I did mention on the podcast that I would try to also make sure, try, because there's a lot going on. But if I do a podcast, that I will have a Facebook Live to go with it. If I do a Facebook Live, that I'll have a podcast to go with it. And then also write an article as well um, to match it. So we're going to see how that works out. But what I talked about today on the podcast, my beautiful queens, was the importance of individuality. Individuality. You know, far too often, a lot of us queens, a lot of you are trying to impress people. You know, it's kind of that. It's kind of the idea of keeping up with the Joneses, essentially. It's like you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and I'm not sure why, because there's beauty in simply just being yourself. Okay, just be yourself, queens. Be yourself. Be your authentic self. You know, I know some of you, of course, yes, you have celebrities, for example, that you admire, and that's great. Okay, but just because a particular celebrity, you know, for example, decides to dye their hair blue, it does not mean, queen, that you yourself have to go out and dye your hair blue. You know, be yourself. You don't have to follow what everyone is doing. And that is so important. You do not have to follow what everyone else is doing. You can actually just be yourself. Because when you're yourself, okay, the right people are going to love you as you. And you want people to love you as you, being your authentic self, not having a mask on, not, you know, showing up with your representative, but you showing up as you and who you really are and what you really stand for, you as yourself. Okay. So don't feel like you have to do certain things and you got to follow, you know, the newest trend. And, you know, if a certain type of you know, a certain type of hairstyle is the new trend, that you have to go get that hairstyle. No, you don't. Like, some of you are breaking your necks to try to keep up. Okay, be you, queens, be you. We live in a world that wants us to be anything but ourselves. They're trying, the way that we're conditioned, queens, you know, it's like we're never enough, right? We're never enough. You know, they have all these things on how, you know, we can be better and be prettier, and if you're big or if you're small. And I mean, we have so much negativity already thrown at us, okay, to try to make us feel less than. Like, don't add to that. Don't add to that. I just want you, queens, to be your beautiful, wonderful, phenomenal, authentic self as God created you to be. You do not have to follow what everyone else is doing. There is beauty in being authentically you. Authentically you. Okay? 100% authentically you. And if you decide, yes, if you decide that you want to try something new, then let the reason be because it's something that you want to do. Okay, not because it's what everyone else is doing. So you feel like, oh, well, I have to do it. No, you don't. Okay. The example that I specifically brought up. I know. This example that I brought up, Queens, of all things, was that I am one of the queens that does not like beards. Yes, I don't like beards on men. No. So all this, yes, all this, I don't like it. I do not like it. I like the nice, clean shaven man. Okay. He's got a nice, clean face. That's what I like. Okay. And yes, you hear a lot about the beards. I guess that's the new, that's been the thing. Everybody has a beard now. Okay. But guess what? Everybody doesn't like beards. It may seem like everybody does, but trust me, I'm not the only woman in this world that doesn't like beards. Okay. So, yes, when someone asks me, I'm honest and I walk in my truth and I stand in my truth. I don't let society and whoever else dictate my truth and how and what I believe. No, I don't like them. And I don't have to apologize for that. Okay. I'm not saying like guys with beards look bad. I'm just simply stating I particularly, I'm not really attracted to it like that. I'd like a clean face, but that's just me. And so, in the same concept, there are a lot of different things that come out, a lot of different fads, and this is the new trend, and this, like, it's a lot. And if you don't know who you are, Queen, it's easy to get lost. It's really easy to get lost and feel like you've got to keep up. Well, this is a new thing, so let me try that. Oh, and then this comes out, and let me do that, and then let me do this, and like you're all over the place because you don't know who you are. Okay, learn about yourself. Okay, take some time. Some of you need to just take some time off to be with yourself, to enjoy your own company, to learn about yourself, so you can figure out who you are. And that way you're not going to be compelled to try everything and be jumping here and jumping there. And, every time something new comes out, like you got to go, because you're trying to fit in so much and you're trying to follow what everyone else is doing because you don't know who you are. Okay. Everything is not for everyone. Okay. Everything is not for everyone. Okay. I learned that, and I mentioned it in the podcast. I grew up in a Jamaican household. Okay, and mom, that is something I never forget that she would say, is that everybody's style doesn't fit everybody. Okay, and it's true. It's really true. You just have to find your thing. Like you have to just find yourself, Queen. And you have to learn to love yourself and be okay with yourself as you are. Okay. Because there's always going to be people that there's always going to be people that disagree. There's going to be people that don't like you. I mean, there's going to be people that you're just too much for. You're just going to be too much for some people, Queens. And guess what? That's okay. Those just aren't your people. But that doesn't mean that you change. No, you stay true to yourself. You stay true to who you are. You're going to be too much for some people. They're just not your people, Queens. You're going to be too much for some people. They're just not your people. And that's okay. Okay. What I don't want you, Queens, to do is to change and try to appease people. Okay. You will disappoint yourself trying to please everyone. It's impossible. It's just impossible. You cannot please everyone. Some people are just not, they're just not going to be on your team. They're just not going to be a part of your tribe. And that's okay. There are over 7 billion people on this planet, Queens. Okay. Think about this. And I mentioned this on the podcast. I was like, I came to find out at one of my places of worship that there's someone that doesn't like Oprah. And I'm an Oprah fan. She's on my vision board. So I'm like, oh my gosh, who doesn't like Oprah? How do you not like Oprah? All the stuff that she's done in the world and operating from such a higher space and spiritual and all that. I'm like, who doesn't like Oprah? Okay. But that goes to show, okay, even with all of the awards, all of the humanitarian efforts, all of the good that Oprah has done in this world and continues to do. And guess what? There are people that just don't like her. They just don't like her. They just don't vibe with her. They're not Oprah fans. And guess what? It's okay. Oprah's not losing any sleep over those people. Okay? And so it just goes to show it doesn't matter how good of a Christian you are, Queens, how good of a heart you have. You can just be the sweetest, most, beautiful person, just as positive and wonderful. And guess what? There's still going to be someone that just doesn't vibe with you. They're just not going to be a part of your team or your tribe. They're not going to be one of your fans per se. And Queens, you've got to learn to be okay with that. You've got to be okay with that. Okay? Because a lot of you are doing things that are just to fit in. They're just to like almost be accepted and to fit in. And you're just following the crowd. It takes a lot more courage to stand alone and stand in your truth, yet be authentic. Okay, to stay true to yourself and be authentic. That takes courage. That takes a lot of courage. Okay, but that's what I want my queens to do. I want you all to be authentic. My tribe, my queens, we're authentic. Okay, we're not worried about the newest this and the newest that. And okay, well, yeah, like everybody's doing what is that thing? The 10-year challenge. I haven't done it. I mean, I can, but okay, well, and it's okay. Like, you don't have to do what everyone else is doing, Queens. You don't. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. Feel free, okay, to stand out. Okay, there's a quote that says, "Well-behaved women rarely make history." Well-behaved women rarely make history. Okay, and I have that magnet on my fridge. I have that magnet on my fridge. So yeah, think about this. Like, the people who are successful, the 3%ers, the 1%ers, successful people in this world, do you think they got to being successful, their level of success, by following the crowd? You think they got to that level of success by trying to fit in with everyone? Nah. Okay. Especially as an entrepreneur, trust me. I can tell you, there's just going to be some things that you stop doing. There are going to be some things that you're going to have to sacrifice per se. It's not really sacrifice, but your priorities will certainly change depending on how serious you are in accomplishing your goals and dreams. Okay, because you have to be really focused. I'm going to tell you. Okay, so yeah, you may not be able to go out and party and go out as often as you used to because your priorities have changed. And unfortunately, people who are not in the same mindset and on the same path may not understand. They may not fully understand what it takes to get to the level of success that you're trying to get to. And so those people, unfortunately, Queens, they are not supportive sometimes, and they don't get it. And sometimes those same people will make fun of you. Sometimes those same people will talk very badly about you. But at the end of the day, Queens, you just have to you have to stay focused. Something that I did mention as well is that you're going to disappoint some people. I mean, there's no way to get to the type of level of success that I imagine some of you are trying to get to without disappointing some people. And that's even something I mentioned in the Queens Don't Settle book, was the quote by Oprah about being courageous, and something to the effect of, you know, living a brave life. Of course, like, you have to be courageous, and you're going to disappoint some people. But for the people who are really rooting for you to rise, those people won't be disappointed. The only people who are disappointed are the people that have their own agenda. Okay. So, yes, if you are not able to go out as much as you used to anymore, or you can't contribute, for an example, financially to certain things anymore, you can't feed into some people and their bad habits anymore. You can't save them and rescue them anymore because your priorities have changed and you're focused and working on some things. Yeah. If you put your foot down, those people who are benefiting from you, yeah, they're probably going to have a problem with that. They might be disappointed because they no longer get to benefit from you. Okay, they no longer get to take advantage. They no longer, get to use you. They no longer get to receive, those benefits, whatever they were getting. So they are disappointed. They have a problem. Okay, but that goes to show who's really in your corner, because the people who really want you to rise, queens, who want you to succeed and want you to progress, those people aren't disappointed. Those people would not be disappointed that you had to make some changes in your life to get to where you're going based on whatever, your goals and your dreams and your vision is. Those people are not disappointed if they are rooting for you to rise. Okay. So I want you guys to be authentic. I want you queens to stay authentic. I want you to stay true to yourself. Do not feel like you have to keep up with everything going on. Do not feel like, if people that you admire, if they decide to shave half their head, that, oh, you've got to go and shave half your head. Like, be original. Be original, queens. Okay, the right people, your people are going to love you as you are. So you don't have to go out and follow and do all these other things, okay, seeking external validation. You don't have to do all of that. Your people, your tribe, your people, your followers, the people that God has assigned to you, those people are going to love you, and they want to love you as your authentic self. So you have to be your authentic self, not an imitation, okay, not with a mask on, not your representative. They want you to be your authentic self, because that's what they need. They need you as your authentic self, showing up in the world as your authentic self. Okay. So I love you, queens. If you did not or have not listened to the podcast yet, then I do recommend that you listen to the podcast. It is on anchor.fm, and it is also on iTunes. The podcast is called Queens Don't Settle. Of course, because my queens, we don't settle, honey. It's called Queens Don't Settle. Okay, both on Anchor, is anchor.fm, and on iTunes. It's on iTunes. Okay. Also, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have some more videos. I'm talking about, life and relationships as well. On my YouTube channel, it's just Dixon. Okay. So be your authentic self, because individuality is a very beautiful thing, queens. Okay. Individuality. Okay. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. Okay. Feel free to stand out. The people who make history, the people who do great things in the world, they don't follow what everybody else is doing. Typically, they do just the opposite. They do just the opposite, okay? So find yourself, okay? Learn about yourself. Find who you are, okay? Some of you may need to spend some time alone with yourself to figure out who you are, to learn about yourself. That way you're not going out seeking external validation, and you're always looking and trying to keep up with everything and everyone because you don't know who you are. Because when you know who you are and you really start to love yourself, you'll recognize your worth and you'll know that you're enough right here, right now. You'll know that you're enough, okay? You're enough right here, right now. And I want you to look yourself in the mirror, Queen. The beautiful, fabulous, fantabulous, phenomenal queen that you are, honey. I want you to look in the mirror and admire yourself for where you are right here, right now. Okay, I know some of us, some of you are not, yes, you're not at the pinnacle yet of where you want to be at the height of your career and you have other things that you want to accomplish. Well, ding, 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 neither is this queen. Okay, but we're all a work in progress and that's all that matters. It is never about perfection, it is about progression. Okay, it's about progression and progressing and moving forward. I just want you all to be moving forward. Okay, so right here, even right now, you can look in the mirror, okay? Before you go to bed, you can look in the mirror and I want you to admire your own reflection. Because you're bad, queen. Hello. You're bad. In case you didn't know, this queen, queen to queen, I just want to let you know, oh, you're bad, honey. You're fly. Yes. So I need you to look in the mirror and admire the reflection that you see in that mirror. And I want you to acknowledge this beautiful woman who you are right now, how far you've come, some things that you have accomplished. Okay, yes, you may not physically be where you want to be. And again, you may not have accomplished everything that you want to accomplish, but right here, right now, okay, you're still enough. And you are not where you used to be. So you need to acknowledge that. I want you to acknowledge that. Give yourself some credit, queens, because sometimes we're way too hard on ourselves, okay? And you deserve better than that. You deserve to speak to yourself better than that, okay? Your perception of yourself is important, and that comes from how you feel about yourself, okay? So when you look in the mirror, I want you to actually speak life into yourself and acknowledge the beautiful queen that you are right here, right now, okay? Because you're more than enough and you're worthy and deserving of all of your heart's desires and everything and really anything that you could possibly imagine and that you have on your vision board or that you have written down on your goals in your goal notebook. You know, everything and anything that you want, queens, you deserve and you are worthy of, okay? So even right here in this space that you are, you're fabulous, okay? You are. And you're just gonna continue to progress and move forward from here. That's it, okay? That's it, okay? But you also wanna make sure that you're being yourself, right? Don't get caught up in every little thing that comes out. Don't. Just be you. You're not for everyone, queen. Like I said, you're not for everyone. You're not going to be for everyone. And that's not a bad thing. It really isn't. It's not a bad thing at all. Okay? Stay true to yourself. Be yourself. Be your authentic self. And the right people are going to love you. The right people, your people, will love you as you. And that's what you want. You want them to love you being your authentic self, not when you have a mask on, because they would be loving a false sense of self. They would be loving a false person. It's not you. You want them to love the real you. So you need to be the real you, your authentic self. Okay? So I love you, queens. I absolutely love you. Okay? And I will talk to you guys in the next Facebook Live, or I will, of course, talk to some of you in the next podcast. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And I will hold you guys, of course, as always, in a very high regard and in a high vibration, and have a really loving, authentic, pure, high vibe intention for you. Okay? So I love you, queens. I love you. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And you guys have a good night. Okay? Bye-bye.